Okay. This is AP Steadham and Kirk McNair reporting for Bama Online 247 Sports, reporting from New Orleans, the 84th Sugar Bowl Classic. Kirk, what are some of the keys for Alabama to win this game?
I think the keys for Alabama to win this game are about what they are in any big game. Who's going to win the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively? Particularly, I think, in this case, because both have really good defensive lines. I think probably the key is for Alabama's offensive line to win enough battles against the Clemson defensive front, a four-man front ordinarily, win enough to have established the running game and protect quarterback Jalen Hurts.
You found out in the Auburn game that Alabama tried to pound that middle. They had to go to the outside. They're going to have to do some of the same things this game.
I felt like Alabama was kind of beating their heads against the wall against Auburn, and when they attacked the edges, they seemed to have success. Then they kind of went away from that. Nick Saban said in the time between that game and this game that we kind of lost our identity and we need to get back to it. I think that identity is running the ball, and I think the best chance to run the ball is attack the edges. Have success there, then a lot of other things open up.
They've had some trouble in the passing game with Jalen Hurts and company. They need to get some rhythm. What can you look for in the passing game? They have about 3 or 4 weeks to prepare.
I think that's an important time. Obviously, when you talk about the time to prepare, we've all talked about the injury situation and having time to get well, but also time to evaluate. Brian Dable said, in NFL, where he's been for most of his career, you don't have that time. But like we've had nearly a month really to get ready for this game. So I think there's a good chance that Alabama, there will be some other things.
Kirk, this is your 39th Alabama Bowl game.
Right.
And 2 years ago, Alabama had an element of surprise. They needed to win the game. It was the onside kick. Marlon Humphrey covered it that day. He'd been practicing. He was dropping it all through the week, but he came up successful on that evening. Another element of surprise I'd like to see for Alabama is to put in Tua Tagovailoa into the quarterback position for a couple series in the second quarter, put the pressure on Clemson's defense to show them something they have not seen.
Well, that would be a surprise, and I say that because even though Nick Saban's known widely as the greatest college coach, or certainly in the conversation for the greatest college coach, he's still got that NFL background, and those NFL coaches, they'll play their starting quarterback till the bitter end, no matter what it seems like. So maybe we'll see Tua. I'd like to see it. I would agree. I'd like to see it. I know Coach Bryant, in some of those mini bowls that you talk about, he had a history of putting that second guy in, see what he can do, change it up, get a little spark, whatever. So I'd like to see it too, but again, if it happens, it'll be a surprise.
Kirk, I'm going to give you a final score here, 27-24 Alabama. I don't think it'll be as high scoring into the 40s and the 30s the past two games. I think Alabama will have enough in the end, and hopefully their kicker will be on target that day.
It's funny because I've already picked the score for BOL.com, and I picked it 28-24. So we're pretty close there on what we're thinking, and I picked Alabama to win as well. So it's I wouldn't have predicted those other two games to go into the 40s and 30s either. So it wouldn't surprise me. It would not be a surprise if I am wrong again. But that's what I'm thinking. You can tell we're getting late in the week of a bowl game when journalists are interviewing journalists.
I agree, Kirk. This is AP Steadham and Kirk McNair for Bama Online 247 Sports, reporting from New Orleans, the 84th Annual Sugar Bowl Classic.